Hello, badass entrepreneurs. I hope you're having a great Friday so far and looking forward to the weekend. I'm back on another show with you on the Life School MasterClass Show, where you all know by now that we talk about everything that has to do with scaling our life and business to the next level and building that mission driven empire that makes an impact. And I'm introducing myself again because I have a lot of new followers, thankfully. I am Elona Lopari. I'm a business marketing and sales strategist. So what I do is I help service-based businesses position themselves in the market with their high ticket offers so they can scale to 6 and 7 figures. And today I have another amazing guest on. This is the best part of running my show, Heather Jean. Heather, thank you so much for finding time to chat with us, badass mission-driven entrepreneurs today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And hello, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
So happy to
I'm here
have
in the UK, so it's nighttime here. So wherever you are, good. I was going to say good evening, but it could be good morning in some places, right?
hello virtually to UK from New York. This is the beauty of being virtual and really getting the chance to meeting all these wonderful people. I mean, I love it personally. So, Heather, let's start with the introduction. Can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I help women raise their confidence and really to take up space and to raise their voice and to share their message with confidence, whether that's confidence in your personal life or work life or stage life. So things like body confidence and really kind of owning our space without apology or explanation, things like imposter syndrome and overcoming those voices in our head that tell us that we can't or we shouldn't. I've been a training consultant and coach for over 25 years with my own business. And before COVID, I worked a lot globally with corporate clients in large conferences, which, of course, right now is a little bit different. So I'm really loving the kind of ability to incorporate the acknowledgement around our personal life, because a lot of us are working from home, right? So just being able to have that kind of balance and boundaries around our personal life and our work life and our stage life. And by stage life, for most of us, that's kind of, our online presence of being, on social media and so on.
Mm, no, absolutely. And confidence is so key, especially if you want to achieve anything in your life, any goal you have, any dream, any purpose that you'd like to accomplish, whether it's business or not. I mean, confidence is one of those things that it's built along the way for sure. So, Heather, I want to ask you, how did you get into what you're doing? How's your journey been so far?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. When I started my initial business over 25 years ago now, it kind of happened by accident. I had been head of training for a major international airline, and I was being repatriated, and so I landed in the UK, and I had massive clients, like really large global clients. One of them with a mouse mascot. Um, and I was asked to do their corporate training, and so that started my business. So actually, weirdly, I started by accident. Like I didn't start from the way that we would know it now. And so when COVID came and I started Confidence Through Cabaret, then I started a very different way. I started with target audience and niche and all of those things. And to be honest with you, it's very, very different starting an online business than it is starting a face-to-face business. My business previously was business to business, and now I'm doing a lot more business to consumer or customers or clients. So it's been a wonderful way of kind of just starting over and reinventing a lot of the skills that I had kind of lost touch with. But with any business, it's going to be ups and downs. It's the same with confidence. There's not like you've got the secret sauce and then that's it and it's smooth sailing. It's always going to have ups and downs, and it's always going to have challenges. And I think for me, what has worked the best is just really truly having a passion for what I'm doing. If you've
Mm.
got that, then it helps you through all the other tough times.
That's it. Drop the mic. Because if there's no passion, any journey is going to have its ups and downs and its challenges, and they're supposed to be there so that we grow into that better version of ourselves. So, if we just learn how to accept it and really learn from our setbacks, as we all have them, and a lot of times, especially on social media, we talk about a lot about the things we achieve, and we're achieving success in the traditional way, in this thing or that thing, but a lot of times we're missing the behind the scenes of what it takes to have that one win. You're probably failed, by the way the term traditionally coined, like 50 times in order to get there. So I think we should definitely talk more about that, because it's very, very inspiring. And especially in the journey of entrepreneurship, it's a roller coaster, as you said, and your confidence is tested, doubts creep in, no matter how much you have achieved. You're never going to just be done with this work. I mean, I used to say when I first started, got introduced to the personal development journey, I'm like, if I could just fix everything and then I don't have to worry about it, then I'll move on to the next thing. If I could just like heal all my wounds and figure out what's blocking me and all of that. But I realized, what, this is a journey, just like anything. So whatever new level you like to go into, there's always going to be new things that show up, and especially self-doubt is a big one. So I'm very excited, looking forward to hearing some of a few tips on confidence, how to build our confidence or maintain our confidence, or I should say really maintain our focus on our passion and our mission while we're building our businesses. What are some of the tips that you could share with us based on all your amazing journey, personal experience, and all the work that you do with your clients?
Yeah. So the biggest one that I get asked about is around imposter syndrome, and I do a huge amount of work around that. Um, because that is something where it kind of can stop us dead right away. So I would say, just to reinforce what you've said there around, you really have to get into your beliefs. You really have to get into the reasons behind as much as you can. So I could give you the technique around, when you hear that negativity, then change the voice. And that will work to a point, right? I scale to six figures easily with that. But the difference is that if you can get behind that and change that belief, then that's where you can actually start to accelerate, and you can start to grow even more, even bigger. Um, because willpower alone is exhausting. It's just exhausting, And so, if you can really kind of understand and reprogram, then work with a coach, or there's a huge amount of stuff around mindset that's available as tools and resources. One of the things that I do believe in very strongly, I talk a lot about imposter voice rather than imposter syndrome, because that it sort of sounds a bit buzzwordy, and it also sounds like it's a really big,
It's a syndrome.
big bad thing. And yeah, I
Mm,
don't want to have a syndrome. I want to, do you
well,
know,
that's a
I
perception.
want to have, I want to have if I got to have it, I want to have the voice, because that voice, I can change it or pay attention to it or not. So by paying attention to my imposter voice, first of all, the thing to know is that it is there to keep you from danger and keep you alive, right? So acknowledging that voice and saying, okay, thank you. A lot of us like to give names to that voice. I love giving names to the imposter voice. My imposter voice is Donald, because I didn't want to take it too seriously. I love play and creativity. So mine is like very, I try and speed it up and make it a bit crazy, which is an NLP technique. And I enjoy talking to Donald as if, like, I got this, Donald. Thanks for the warning, but it's all good. Because inside me, I also have a different voice, and this is what I use from my cabaret experience and background. Is I have a badass voice. I have a fierce, strong voice, right? And I use that voice. And that gives me the strength to go, no, hold on a second. We're not listening to this bit about you shouldn't do it. What if you look silly? What if you fail? All that. It's like, okay, but hold on a second. I got this. I'm really got this, and I'm going to do it anyway. And so it's interesting you say about roller coaster, because I talk a lot about roller coasters, because when you know what it's like when you're on the top and there. Oh, have I frozen? Oh no, I don't know. I'm going to keep talking anyway. You know what it's like when you're. Are we good?
You're good. We can hear you and we can see you.
Oh, good. Okay. My thing froze, so I was like, "Oh well, I'll just keep. I'll talk to myself all the time." But you know what it's like when you're on a roller coaster and you're up at the top and there's only one thing that's going to happen. You're going to go down or around or something really fast in a moment, and there is simultaneous fear and excitement. Right? Hopefully, you've got on the roller coaster because you wanted to go there, just as you've gotten into the business roller coaster because you wanted to do it and you had the passion. And you can decide in that moment whether you're going to see this adrenaline in your body as fear or as excitement. And they're very similar, if not the same feelings. So, for example, when I'm about to go onto a stage in cabaret, I see that as excitement. It is way more fun to be excited to be trying something or doing something than it is if I was feeling fear, because fear is going to make that imposter voice, louder, and it's also going to make me kind of shrink a little bit or want to shrink a little bit. And so I love to sort of recognize my imposter voice, put it away, tune into my fierce badass voice, and then really see this as excitement and go, here we go, it's going to be great, it's a roller coaster. And there's going to be dips and there's going to be ups and downs and probably some loop-the-loops at the same time, and that's all part of that business, as we've been saying. So a lot of it is about how we frame our state of mind. A lot of it is around how we control or allow the voices in our head to control us. And I don't allow my imposter. I have a very strong imposter voice, particularly around not asking for help. I don't like to ask for or accept help, even if I need it. I do it now, but it's a new habit I've had to learn, and it's not in my imposter voice vocabulary to ask for help. So I have to say, well, you know what? Thanks for that, Donald, but I'm going to put that aside because I actually need help here, and I'm going to do it. And so it's funny how many times we let that imposter voice hold us back without questioning it.
Mm, yeah.
It's very interesting to me how we'll question. For example, if somebody gives you a compliment, we often don't internalize it, and we turn it down and we say, oh, no, it's nothing. It's, but then when somebody gives us some criticism or some constructive feedback, then we internalize that and think, oh, it's terrible, it's all gone wrong. And I think what we choose to internalize and the voice that we choose to listen to is very, very important to our business success.
Mm, absolutely. You said so many gems in there. And being self-aware is the first step, like understanding what is those triggers and how is that voice actually showing up for us is the first step. So then we can challenge it, because if we're not aware, it's really running like a track in our mind. And now we know, we have more information about how our thoughts really attract the things to us that we either want or we don't want. So there's a lot of power to that. But I think what you said with the imposter voice, I like that perspective of calling it a voice, because I feel like that's the daily day-to-day work that we have to do, and it shows up. And even though you've done the work and you are aware, every new level brings in a new voice and a new fear.
Yes.
And I love that trick about who speaks about this. Her voice completely left me, but it's tricking your brain, because your brain doesn't know the difference between fear and excitement. So just saying, I'm so excited about this, rather than like, oh my God, I'm scared shitless about it. It really just reframes our mind to just like go for something fearful. That's what I do when something scares me. I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I forgot the name of the person.
Oh, that's Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins.
Yeah. Mel Robbins. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just going for it. And then when you go to the other side, you build confidence, because you're like, oh my God, that wasn't that bad. And I could do that. And then another point of referee that I love to use in my personal journey is my daily compass when I get doubts. I'm like, look at your past. Is there anything you haven't been able to figure out? No. Look,
Yeah.
this is just the other next thing, so you'll be fine. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. But isn't it interesting how for a lot of us as not only but especially as women, we shrink and we don't take up space. And I found this all over the world in corporate. If I was running a conference, if a female came into the room, 99% of the time they would be very apologetic and I'm really so sorry and and they would kind of try and make themselves small. And I saw that so much in business that whenever I mention it, and it's not only women, a lot of men do it too. We kind of shrink in some situations. And I'm sort of saying that's the time when you need to expand in your space and you need to kind of puff your chest out and really breathe rather than try and, allow your body to contract itself and make yourself small. We don't get a proper breath then. We don't get to vocalize in proper ways. We don't get to come across with that confidence or sound confident. And that's
Mm.
important. That's important because our audience needs to feel that passion. Our audience needs to feel that confidence and that certainty, especially if you're on doing something in anything sales. I mean, we all sell in some capacity, but if you're literally selling, you've got to really kind of take that breath and be heard rather than shrinking from it,
Mm.
because otherwise we sound apologetic and we don't sound certain, and it's difficult to buy from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's your presence right there, and it's so true. Because I was a corporate woman in executive position, and executive coaching is how I ventured out in my own. But I used to help women all the time, and I still see that in us. We have so many gifts, but we undervalue them, and we don't see them. So really just empowering each other to really tap into those talents and gifts, and helping other people through that is so important. So I could absolutely relate to that just by being a woman, and how I've overcome so much imposter syndrome, especially in my corporate world, being a woman executive and amongst a lot of men, and that I had to overcome a lot of that. So it's always there, constantly showing up. If not in that environment, it shows up in a different way in your business. So it's always there, but the secret is to just be self-aware and constantly challenge those limiting thoughts that show up, and those scared, fearful thoughts that will come no matter what. Heather, thank you so
Yeah.
much for everything you've shared so far. It's a beautiful conversation. I feel like we have so much, a common, like, a way of thinking and our journeys, that we could just chat, I'm sure, for a long time. But we will wrap it up. We will wrap it up. And I want to ask you to leave our audience with one last message, inspirational message, or anything that you've learned as a lesson or given advice from, that has really worked in your life, so that someone can hear that one thing they needed to hear today from our show.
Thank you for that opportunity. I do have one guiding principle that has seen me through an awful lot of personal life difficulties, business difficulties, and has really been a calming influence for me. And that is very simply control the controllables. So what I had my late husband has had Alzheimer's. During that, I had breast cancer. I had lots of things. I was in financial ruin from trying to be a carer for my late husband, and all kinds of different things happened. Car accident, you name it. Like, how those things all kind of happen for for a lot of us, all at once. And that certainly was my time in 2019. And I really go back every time, even in those most difficult times, to saying control the controllables. So what do I have that I can influence? What can I do? And I focus on what I can do, and that allows me to be proactive, and that allows me to be more expansive. And when we get the I have to, I can't, and we get into that reactive mode, we shrink. And it gets very, very difficult for us to feel like we have any sense of control or influence over our lives. So controlling the controllables is about, what can I do? What can I influence? And then, and sometimes this is the hard part, what do I need to let go of that I just have no influence over at all?
Mm-hmm.
And, we have to let those things go. And if we start to, go too deeply into those, and I wish, and I want, we just can't control the uncontrollables. You have to let some of those things go. And certainly within business, if you can put your hand on your heart and say, I have done everything I could within my influence to improve or change or grow or whatever it is, then that is enough.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need any more than that.
That is such a beautiful message. So I really hope it landed with someone today, because a lot of times we just need repetition. We just need to hear it. And we might be in that moment in time that we're going through something and overcoming something. And a lot of times is that click that you hear and you're like, all right, I'm not alone. I'm gonna be okay. It's just that next thing in my journey. I think life is whole entire journey anyway. So thank you so much for sharing that. And lastly, where is it that people can connect with you and find out more about you, Heather?
Well, thank you for that. I can be found on Confidence Through Cabaret. I hang out mostly on Facebook. I have a Facebook community, which is just all about supporting and uplifting confidence. And that's called Confidence Through Cabaret. I'm also on Instagram under the same name. I have Confidence Through Cabaret YouTube channel, Confidence Through Cabaret podcast, confidencethroughcabaret.com. We have amazing masterclasses, not only from myself, but also from incredible people who have shared their skills and created courses and workshops and masterclasses for us. So if you Google Confidence Through Cabaret, you'll literally find there's about 2 pages worth of content. But I hang out predominantly on on Facebook in the community. So that's where you'd find me.
All right. Awesome. And I hope people connect with you, as everything you shared is so right on, and it is so needed. It's so needed. A lot of times we try to do the work on our own, but we just can't see all our blind spots. I always say everyone needs a coach, because it's that mirror that, someone else holds up so that they can hold the space for you, so that you can navigate and how things actually affect your life. And then I see it all the time. People come for business, and then you kind of, have results in your relationships, and then you start to feel better. You improve your overall health, because we're not here just to do one thing. I think we need to all be fulfilled in all the other areas of our life. So I like to take a holistic approach to the way that we do things. Why are we want to scale a business? Because we probably want to have more time with our family, right? We want to have more time for ourselves, and all the different motivators. Everybody's got a different reason why. But at the end of the day, we all want to be fulfilled. In order to do that, we just have to go within and, help somebody get help a lot of times. And I like that you said that one of the challenges for me has also been asking for help. So it's just, a lot of times is that step forward to really helping someone take care of you and hold the space, because maybe you really haven't had that growing up. So just having supportive people and support around you, it's so, so important. Heather, thank you so much for being on our show today. We've come to the end of this particular show, and I want to wish you and everyone to have a great, beautiful weekend moving forward. And I will see you all in the next show. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.